Hey guys, how's it going? I'm gonna do another recap of this is week 2 of the Snakediet challenge. I've had a pretty tough week. There was a lot of ups and downs this week. I had to go back to the hospital for the x-rays on my arm, and it actually turned out that there was nothing wrong with my arm. They thought that my arm was fractured in this area here. It's getting better. I can move it back and forth now, but it still hurts, but it's not near where it was when I went to the hospital. The new radiologist, he just figured he wasn't sure, so he wanted to follow up, sort of thing. So I went back to the hospital, spent another 4 hours there for them to tell me there was nothing wrong, which was awesome. So in this week, we're going to talk about, or in this video, sorry, we're going to talk about the Dexa scan. Finally got that, as you know, got the paperwork back for that. Got the blood work, got that back, got some really surprising information off that one. And then we'll just sort of talk about my week and sort of my ups and downs. I got some really good news, and then I got kind of some really frustrating news. Well, not news, but just how my day was. So let's start off with the Dexa scan. I'm gonna put the papers in just so you can see what I'm reading here. But basically, not that anything on here was really surprising. Obviously, I'm a fat dude. I'm a fatty. So when you compare something like this, and it's actually interesting because Cole just put out his Dexa scan video. I watched that last night after I made the new thumbnail for it, and just reviewing all of the findings that were on his report versus what's on mine shows me just really how far I have to go if I wanted to actually get down to 7.1% body fat like Cole. So in this one here, it says that my total bone density is 1.417 grams per centimeter squared, which is indicating a normal bone mass for my frame. I'm 6'2". Currently I'm 249 pounds or 250 pounds. We'll get back to that. My patient mass, according to this, was 117.6 kilograms with a fat mass of 38.832% or kilograms, and then lean mass of 74.482 kilograms. So that's a lot. That's 40 kilograms of fat that I still have on my body, which is insane. My tissue fat percentage is 34.3, which is in the 100th percentile for my age, which basically means that we're all a bunch of fatties. And my body mass index is currently 34.5. Now, granted, this was taken on the 3rd of May, so I'm considerably lower than this because this was pretty much taken right at the beginning. So with that said, we're doing way better than this. I wanted to get this basically at the beginning, and just so I can see and so I can judge how far down I've come and from where I was. And this is a good scientific way of doing it. Because as I said before, I want to try to focus on the science of it and not just it works because I say it works. Like, obviously I'm showing you that it's working, but this is, you can't refute that. Like, this plays into their game, right? So now let's go on to the blood work. They ordered me a whole slew of tests, and I've got 2 papers, actually 5 sheets here, full of valuable information. So they tested everything from my alkaline phosphate, creatine, estimated GFR, C-reactive protein. This was one that Cole was really interested in me getting. In an ideal world, it would be a 0.0, which means you have almost no inflammation in your body. Currently, I'm sitting at a 2.3. Anything according to this is less than 8 is good, but according to Cole, this should be way down. Like, I should be a 0. But A, because I'm a fatty, and B, because I obviously have some, like, my elbow's messed up, my back is messed up, I have inflammation, and that's kind of why that's so high. We got, they tested my GGT. I have no idea what that is. That's normal. My glucose, my glucose fasting, when I did this test, I was 60 hours fasted, and they told me that none of my tests would be accurate. But my glucose fasting is 4.9, and what they say is anything between a 3.3 and a 6.0 is right on par. So my glucose is perfect, according to them. My lipid battery, my cholesterol. Now this is the interesting one. Now when I went there, when I went to the doctor a long time ago, my cholesterol was crazy high, like crazy high. I mean, at this point, we were even talking about when I was at his office on the 10th, and I was telling him kind of I'm making these videos, and that's why I got this copy. When they went and took my blood work, they didn't actually do one of the tests that he had required, so he actually sent me back for another blood test. So I actually had to go get another blood test, and when I have to go back for that one, basically what they wanted to check one of my prostate levels or something, so they just do that through the blood. So when I get that back, I'm going to try to get some of my old cholesterol papers for my blood test, just so I can actually emphasize how high it really was. Right now my cholesterol is perfect. I told my doctor that I was fasting, and he asked me for how long, and at that point I had already been plus 90 hours. So I told him like I was plus 90 hours, and he said right on. I told him I was taking 1.5 teaspoons of the Himalayan pink salt, the sodium chloride, and then I was taking 1.5 teaspoons of potassium chloride, which is the no salt. So I told him exactly about that, and I told him, it was mixed in 2 liters of water, and he was all for it. And actually, what he suggested, which is interesting because I'll transition to a different part of the. We'll talk about something a little bit more later, but. What he suggested was I get some magnesium sulfide or magnesium sulfate, which is the edible Epsom salts. So, and he told me that I should add that to my snake juice. So what I started doing, actually, I had literally gone to the health food store just prior to going to the doctor to get some. I had a whole huge bag of it in the car when I went in there, and I just sort of snickered and laughed and told him I literally just got some. So yeah, but anyway, at this point, I told him that I was still taking the cholesterol meds that he suggested, which was the Crestor, and he said at this point there's really no need to, because it's impossible even with medication to get my cholesterol lower than it is now. So my cholesterol was cholesterol is 4.06. My triglycerides was 1.68. My HDL is 1.02, and my LDL is 2.28. Now this 2.28 number was skyrocketed. It was just crazy high. And what they're saying is it should be anywhere between 0.00 and 3.40, which is their minimum sort of range, and anything over 3.4 is cause for concern. So I thought that was really interesting. I was really encouraged by that when he said that even with the medication, we can't get it any lower. So there's really no point in taking it. So I'm going to stop taking the Crestor. To continue on, my non-HDL cholesterol is 3.04, and they're recommending anywhere between a 0 and a 4.2 is normal, and I'm perfectly right in the middle of that. My vitamin B12 is 370, which according to this, anything over 150 is normal, so that's perfect. My ferritin, which is my iron, I've had high iron for almost my whole life. It's only now in the last little while, well, not the last little while, but it was about 3 months ago, my iron was so high. It was in the high 800s, and anywhere a range between 12 and 300 is normal. So I was in the high 800s. So the doc actually sent me for a phlebotomy, actually 2 of them, where you go and they remove blood, and it causes your body to basically use the iron to create more red blood cells. So it basically chews up a lot of that. So right now we're sitting at a 379. It's a lot better. He says it's still a little bit high, but it's nothing to worry about right now. Now this is the very, very, very interesting one that I didn't even know was a thing. Now, everybody knows that testosterone in males is a very important hormone. I didn't know exactly how important and exactly what it did in the body. Now, my doctor started explaining it to me, and as he's explaining, you know, if you're deficient, you know, you'll be this, and you'll be this, and you'll be this, and you'll be this. And I was, as he's explaining it, I'm like, check, yep, I'm doing that, yep, check, I'm doing that, yep, check, I'm doing that. And he's just rattling off this list of stuff that's you know, gonna basically change if your testosterone is low. Now, the term grumpy old men, that is actually a phrase used for older men who are like 80 years old, who people think that it's because they have nothing better to do than just to be pissed off and grumpy. The truth of the matter is, when you're 80 years old, your body, well, you peak out at 20, I think it's like 20, 22 with your testosterone, and then it slowly starts coming down as you get older, right? So when you hit 80, your testosterones are almost at a like a low, like you almost have none left, right? Currently where I'm sitting, my testosterone is lower than an 80-year-old's. What? I'm 38 years old, and my testosterone, I have the testosterone of like a 90-year-old. Like, how does that even happen? And I talked to my doctor about it, and they said they don't really have any causes, you know, but I can guarantee you it's because of my crap lifestyle, the fast food that I was living off of, the no exercise, the no sleep, the stress from work, kind of all that stuff, right? I can guarantee you that's exactly the cause for that. With that said, I'm hoping the fasting is going to bring it up. But I'll be honest, they put me on a shot, so I got a testosterone shot in the arse, and I tell you, what a change, what a wild change. Even one shot. I don't know if it's placebo effect. They said at the office that some people react the first shot. Some people it takes 6 or 8 of them in order to go. For me, I already find that it's so one of the main causes of moodiness. Actually, my doctor started saying that testosterone is now our generation's antidepressant. I didn't know that. I didn't know that if you were low on testosterone, that you could be depressed, or that it could affect your moods. And I mean, I've said in my previous videos how I've just been really moody, and I've been grumpy, and it's just been a wild ride. And to know that one simple shot in my ass changed kind of the way that I'm acting is just kind of mind-boggling. I didn't even realize that it was a thing, and you know, sorry for everybody that I was a dick to, you know. But at this point, it's I find that my mood is more level. I find that I'm less argumentative. I find that not that I'm thinking more clearly, but I just feel better, which is interesting. I didn't think that a shot like that would do that. Like, that's just crazy. So yeah, that's the end of this one with my 80-year-old testosterone. We got another one here, which is I've got my CBC and differential. All of this, everything is normal. Everything here is absolutely normal. Even everything down to my My urine pH was 5.5, and it should be anywhere between a 4.5 and an 8. So even with this, that snake juice that you're drinking and that I'm drinking is a very, very high pH solution. So for this to come out that low, it tells you just how acidic your body is, that it's affecting it that much. Other than that, and this one here, again, because this was happened on May 3rd, I have traces of elements of ketones in my urine at this stage on the 3rd, which was true because I tested it myself with my keto sticks. So that's my blood work. That's my Dexa scan. Now, I completed my second 5-day fast. Friday night. I had a big keto meal. Well, it wasn't big. It was the typical 6-to-1 sort of keto meal. I may have went a little bit crazy on the protein because I made a big dinner. My mother-in-law's up. She's visiting. It's great having her around. And made a big dinner. My sister-in-law came over. Everybody had a great time. And then today happened. And today I fell off the wagon. Just plain and simple. I'm not even gonna lie to you. We decided that my wife's working. She works markets, and she's actually at a market right now. And it's we had just a really great family day. I took the kids down to a park that's right by our house. Actually, I'm here right now, and the park is just over there. You can't see it, but anyway, we took the kids. So I took the kids. My wife was busy. She was going to work and she was unloading a bunch of stuff. And so I took the kids over to the park here, and we just had a great day. We were playing. And then my wife came by, and she picked us up from the park, and we drove down. We got the kids Happy Meals, and we had lunch. We had a little picnic in the park. And my sister-in-law again came down, and we went to another park, like the new park, and we played there for another like 4 hours at the swing and everything like that. And then as I was driving around last week, I came across this like secret park that was up in the new area. It's not new area, but there's a big construction because of the fires in Fort Mac. It burned down a bunch of houses up there. So there's this brand new park, and it's really, really high. I call it the secret park, and my kids just loved it. We went there too. So we did 3 parks in one day. My kids went home, and they just died. They just laid on the couch, and then they were basically falling asleep before it was even bedtime. So they were played out. Everything was great. So it was. I definitely wasn't. I didn't eat keto today. But there's actually. It was more of a frustration as to the reason why I went off course. So this whole week I've plateaued. I'm actually trying a new snake juice formula with Cole. It's a new formula that allows you to drink more water. I wasn't prepared for the weight gain from the water. So when on my last video, I was 248.9 pounds. And then I started taking the new formula. I did a day on the new formula, and I came back and I weighed in the next morning, and I weighed in at 249.8, or yeah, 249.8. And I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, I haven't eaten anything. I mean, I know it's just water. I know I'm just retaining water because I'm not eating anything, and I'm still very high in ketones, so I'm still burning the fat. But it's just that mental game where I have now 50 days to be completed. I have to lose 50 pounds in 50 days now. I know I can still do it, but it's just that mental The mental thing is what broke me this week. Because then I did another day where, well, that was Thursday that I woke up and I was 249, and then I ate Friday, and then of course I was 250.6. So there I'm up again. So don't think that even a guy like me, like I'm just like you. I'm just a regular dude. I'm a regular Joe. I'm a regular Joe who's just out here trying to lose weight and just trying to do the thing. Whether I make the 79 or 75.5 pounds or not, I'm still doing the challenge. I'm still documenting the whole process. I know I'm gonna make it, but it's just that kind of mental that mental anguish that is frustrating. You step on the scale and you've got 10 solid days of numbers plummeting. And then you step on the scale and it's the same. And you're like, what the hell? And then the next day you step on the scale and it's the same or up. And you're like, what? What is going on here? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to go back to the regular snake juice. And I'm going to test the new formula when I'm done, because I know exactly to a T how the old formula works. I know how it works on my body. I know how by the looks of my urine. I know how I feel. The one thing is, which is great about the new formula, is that you don't feel dehydrated. You don't feel thirsty, and you don't feel. Well, you could chug. You could literally chug a liter of it, no problem, and you won't get diarrhea. You won't get the epic volcano shits that you would get if you chugged an entire 1 liter of snake juice. You just don't get it. It tastes a lot better. It's got a lot more stuff in it. It's good, but I'm not sure I'm ready to go down that path right now. So what else do we got? So I completed my 5-day. I ate. Oh, here's a little recap on my work. So last week I talked about some stuff that I was really looking forward to. Some of the stressful parts of my week were most of my stress is related to work. And as Cole says, at the end of the day, if you hate your job, and it's stressful. Everything is stressful all the time. This is not doing anything for your health. So come Friday, so I had put in a resume at a different company, and I had, I kind of threw it out there. I just kind of threw it out there. I wasn't expecting a call. I wasn't expecting anything. I was just kind of sort of gauging, where we're at. And I took my resume down there, gave it to the secretary, and not even by lunchtime, I had a call. And, so we've been kind of talking back and forth for a week. And I went in and had a face-to-face interview with the branch manager and one of the other guys there who's a senior manager. And they just sort of fired off a bunch of questions, and I answered them as professionally as I could. And they basically offered me a job right on the spot. So, and it's one of these where they have to do the whole offer letter and all that kind of stuff. So that offer letter took quite a while to come through. Finally, it came through on Friday, and it just kind of happened to coincide with some other stress and drama that was happening at my work. And I'm a pretty private guy, which is funny because I'm making a YouTube channel. But at the end of the day, I don't like people from work interfering in my life and trying to stick in their nose in my life and kind of inferring on what could be wrong or what I'm dealing with or blah 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 blah. And that's kind of what happened, and I just kind of had enough. And so I called up the boss and I said, listen, like, I'm your friend and I would rather just prefer to stay that way. I don't want to talk shit about anybody. He's been great to me. It's just I don't need the stress of this job in my life anymore, and I think I want to move on. And it actually worked out very well for him as well, the company's changed quite a bit, and just my position kind of was almost grandfathered in, and it kind of worked out best for everybody, which is interesting. And I'm really glad that it ended that way. So he told me if I ever wanted to come back, or if I ever needed a job, or whatever, and if I wanted a reference, he would thumbs up, give me a glowing reference. So it ended the best possible way that it possibly could. And like I said, I've got nothing bad to say about anybody. It's very important that whenever you guys want to quit a job, doesn't matter how big the city is or how small the city is, at the end of the day, if you're in a situation where you're in a tight-knit group of people, you're in a trade, for instance, or whatever the situation you're in, you don't ever want to burn the bridges. You just don't. If you could ever make it so that it's amicable when you leave, that's the best possible outcome for everybody. That way, if you ever did need to come back, or if you ever needed a reference or whatever, that's definitely the way to do it. And for me, that it just sort of worked out perfectly that way. And I really appreciate him, and I really appreciate the opportunity he's given me. And especially when I needed it, it was great. It was perfect. So now with this new job, I start that on Monday, and everything's lining up perfectly. The company's got amazing benefits. It's got it's just everything's amazing. It's gonna be really, really neat. They're already talking maybe senior guy. They were sort of joking around that one of the guys that's going to be my boss already, he kind of wants to move on to a different part of the company. So I haven't even started there yet, and he's already talking about me sort of filling in for him and all that kind of stuff. So I think there's a lot of opportunity with this company, and I'm really, really excited for it. And I've got a lot of experience that's going to be brought to the table with this company, which like I said, I'm really excited for this opportunity. I think it's going to be really good. But there's always that transition period. Like right now, technically I'm unemployed, and especially when you have mortgages and you have kids, and you have that kind of thing. Even though I've got a signed offer letter, I still haven't, signed the papers in front of them and met everybody. You know what I mean? So it still kind of feels up in the air, even though on paper it's a done deal. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So this week, like I said, it's been a tough week because, again, I'm a very emotional guy, and I take things really hard sometimes, which is tough. It's tough because I don't mean to take things tough, and I've got this gruff exterior, but what you see on my face isn't what I feel in my heart. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of people who can misinterpret what I say, and they can misinterpret my body language, and I'm just an awkward dude, and it's interesting. But with that said, this shirt and these shorts that I'm wearing, these camo shorts that I've got on here, you can still see my little gut, but these shorts I had purchased before I went to Jamaica, the last time that I was 248.5 pounds. I haven't been able to wear these in 6 years. I pulled them out of the closet the other day, and I'm like, actually, I had to go into the closet for something, and I found a whole bin full of my clothes that I had kind of shelved because I was too fat to wear them, right? And so I put on these camo shorts, and they were literally falling off me, like legitimately. And it's funny because I was talking to my mother-in-law. We were sitting in the hot tub last night, and it's funny because, so not the last time I was in the hot tub, but the time before that, this was just before I started this round of the challenge, or not this round, sorry, but this challenge. We did a family cruise. It was me and my cousins and my uncle and my aunt, and we did 13 countries in 14 days. Amazing trip. If you ever haven't been on a cruise, I would highly recommend it. I can't wait to take my wife on a cruise. But anyway, we were in this small little port, and there was a Hard Rock Cafe there, and I bought these shorts, and they fit me perfectly at that time. And now I've worn them for 8 years. I've had them for a long time. And so my point in saying this was that I went into the hot tub, and those were the shorts that I was wearing at the time before I started this round, and they fit me perfect. And I went to get into them yesterday, and I couldn't even pull the strings tight enough. The strings were as tight as they would go, and I still had 2 inches, and I could walk and they would literally fall off my ass. It's incredible. My gut is completely... I ran into a lady at the park today who I used to work with, and she literally had a double take, and she's like, I can't, you're like half the man already. It's crazy. Like, whatever you're doing is working. And she actually asked me, she hit me up about, how to do it and kind of how to, all that kind of stuff. So I told her about the YouTube and all that kind of stuff. So thanks, Amanda. So yeah, that's where we're at. So, what else can we talk about? It's been a crazy week. It's been a really crazy week, but, I think things are looking up, and I feel like, I don't feel as beat up as I once was. I feel like I'm healing a lot faster, like especially with my arm. I don't know, like it still hurts to fully extend it, but I mean, I could use it now. I could use it to pull up my pants. I could use it to pick up things, and write. It was hurting quite a bit for that before. So I'm not in ketosis right now. I know that. And I'm going to start another 5-day fast, likely tomorrow. Either tomorrow or the next day, but probably tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow's Mother's Day, so I'm going to make my wife breakfast in bed, and my mother-in-law's here, so I'm going to make her breakfast in bed as well. So, got to get up early, make the breakfast. I haven't given up. I'm still here. I'm still fasting. I'm still losing. This week has been a real pain in my arse. I've stalled, which has been very frustrating. Very frustrating. And so we're gonna have to make some changes. I might have to start working out, or I might have to take my treadmill out, is what I might have to do. Because now I got a little bit of making up to do. I got some extra poundage to lose, because I'm almost a week. I lost a week. So now I have 50 pounds basically in 50 days. So I got some time to make up now. So, and that's not even including, I guarantee you I've gained probably at least 4 pounds back, because I've eaten like crap in the today. I've eaten more than twice today. We also took my kids for ice cream. My 5-year-old and my 3-year-old. We took them to the ice cream store, and I remember, my first time going to the ice cream store with my mom, and you're looking at you're just wide-eyed, and you're just looking at all the flavors, and you're like, what is going on here, right? So we took my 5-year-old there, and he was the same, just wide-eyed. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want to try everything. Oh, sugar! So, had a little bit of ice cream today, not gonna lie. This is Foodaholics Anonymous here, except I'm not anonymous. I'm a bad bastard. So there we go. This is my video, and this is my accountability video to you guys. I need you guys to kick my ass. I need you to share my videos. We're at 77 members or subscribers as of today. I need another 33. Or 23, sorry, I got gooder math. I need another 23, and then I'm going to change the link. I'm actually going to go www.youtube.batfastard. I can't get that until I'm at 100 subs. So if you guys can share my videos, like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. I'm gonna have to do another accountability video in the next, probably tomorrow. I'm gonna do an accountability video, because I'm gonna have to come clean about how much I weigh now, because it's definitely not, I'm not the skinniest I ever was anymore. I'm back up there, not way up there, but I'm back up there again. So I got some time to make up, some weight to lose, and thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate your help.